All right, this question came up from this week's lesson in the 5D process. We had the three teachers, and we were trying to figure out their ages. So the problem's there on the screen, and you can take a look at it. But the first step in the 5D process is describe or draw the situation. And in this case, there really wasn't anything for me to draw, so I'm just going to describe. I've got three math teachers. Miss Pacheco, her age is the same as Mr. Richards plus three. Mr. Edwards, his age is the same as Mr. Richards times two. And Mr. Richards and Mr. Edwards' age add up to 81. So those are the details I got from the problem. I seem to know the least about Mr. Edwards, so that's where I'm going to start. So I built my table, and it starts with define. What am I trying to figure out? I'm trying to find the ages of Mr. Richards, Miss Pacheco, and Mr. Edwards. And I know the least about Mr. Richards. So I'm starting with him. Now that I've defined what I'm trying to find, what am I going to do? I'm going to add up Mr. Richards and Mr. Edwards' age because the problem said their ages together should equal 81. So that's how I can get myself towards the answer. So Mr. Richards, I've just got to make a guess, and I just said, let's just say he is 30 years old. Well, what does that make Miss Pacheco? Her age was Mr. Richards plus three. So that would be 30 plus three, which means she's 33 years old. And Mr. Edwards, he's twice as old as Mr. Richards. So that could be written as 2 times 30, okay? Twice as old as Mr. Richards. So let's just say that's 60. So now I can add Mr. Richards and Mr. Edwards together. 30 plus 60, that equals 90. So that is too high. I'm trying to get to 81. So I'm going to guess a little bit lower. Let's go down to 25. If I guess to 25, that means Miss Pacheco is 25 plus 3, which is 28. And Mr. Edwards is twice as old, so 2 times 25, and that equals 50. So I can add up Mr. Richards and Mr. Edwards. That's 25 plus 50. That equals 75. Now I'm too low. It doesn't equal 81. I'm too low. So I know Mr. Richards' age has got to be somewhere between 25 and 30. So let's just guess 28. If I guess 28, that means Miss Pacheco is 28 plus 3, which equals 31. Mr. Edwards is twice as old, 2 times 28. That's going to equal 56. So I can add up Mr. Richards and Mr. Edwards. 28 plus 56, and that equals 84. Now I'm too high. So we're getting closer. Well, if 28 is too high and 25 is too low, let's just try 27. So if Mr. Richards is 27 years old, that makes Miss Pacheco 27 plus 3. She's 30. And Mr. Richard Edwards is twice as old, so 2 times 27. That equals 54. Let's add up Mr. Richards, 27, plus Mr. Edwards, 54. And that equals 81. So that is correct. I've got the right ages. So if I circle these, just so that it's really clear, Mr. Richards is 27 years old. It's really hard to see. Try that again. Mr. Richards is 27 years old. Miss Pacheco is 30 years old, and Mr. Edwards is 54 years old. So the last step is I got to declare my answer. So if I declare it, I said it right there. Mr. Richards is 27 years old. Miss Pacheco is 30 years old, and Mr. Edwards is 54. I'll put it back on the other screen so you can see the table. The table is the process that's going to help us find that solution. Okay, and this is the 5D process. Hopefully that helped.